Hey, Tech Weekly, episode 44. It's April 16th, 2011, Saturday.
Yeah, you know, Jet, today on Tech Weekly, we're going to talk about some very sad news. Cisco is going to be axing the Flip brand. Can you believe that? Flip's going to be gone. President Obama is going to be complaining about the White House tech. We got an interesting discussion coming up on that. And a little bit of Apple news. Apple announcing 64-bit Final Cut 10 at NAB. We're also going to talk about some of the new things announced at NAB. And we've also got Carlo joining us from twitter.com/Carlo Brown. All this week and more on Tech Weekly.
So here it comes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting ready for takeoff.
Yay, Tech Weekly! Okay, so yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, Jeb, how are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Yeah, you probably noticed that we have some pretty... It sounds like we're kind of in a bathroom.
Yes, the microphone I was using.
Well, we'll just for all things, that's your microphone.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. It's a Sterling Audio ST51, and they have failed us. That mic is like a year and a half old, and it's just
The condenser has gone.
Yeah, I don't know. It was all weird, and by the time that we got done testing it and figuring out what was happening, it wouldn't even work anymore. Like,
Yeah,
it was weird.
It was like popping in and out, and then finally it just gave up the ghost.
Yeah, Smooth saying rip Jacob's mic. We might have to have a service for it, but
Yeah,
also
a burial.
I'm like really sick. Well, not really sick. I'm not contagious, but
He is. I'm gonna be dead in about 5 minutes.
yeah, I've got like a really bad head cold, I guess you could call it. I've got a sinus infection and an infection in the back of my throat. So even though we hadn't planned on anything, having anyone, I decided to have Carlo on because I figured he can make it. And cool thing is, I won't be talking near as much, so we can have Carlo on. Carlo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm hot. The weather here is bloody hot. And, yeah, other than that, doing alright. Surviving, the usual stuff.
I heard it's been unseasonably warm over there.
Oh, yes.
I heard
it has. I'm dying, I'm melting, and all the above.
That's great. We had an interesting night last night. We were doing some lower thirds, which you can see there.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Got
The new ones.
the lower
Third-ish.
of the third.
Yeah. And Jay was making those. We were talking on Google Talk, or Gmail Talk, whatever. And
G-Talk.
we had like some serious weather action last night. You can see on the vlog. I mean, Jay was getting some. What did you say, like nickel or?
There were almost golf
quarter?
saws,
Really?
golf
Golf
ball size. Like at some point in time, you could see them drop in the puddles, and it was like.
Yeah, like the tornado actually passed like right up there near about 2
Home
miles.
Depot
Yeah,
and
2
stuff.
miles up through here, and it went behind. It went behind Home Depot.
Yeah, and I'm like, what, like
Yeah,
maybe a mile
Yeah,
away?
maybe a mile from Home
Not
Depot.
even.
And then it passed like a mile up the road from my house and curved up behind Jacob's house. So
It's fun stuff.
yeah,
I didn't fret. The power didn't go off.
no, our power never went off.
I sat there and worked on these lower thirds, and I kept hitting save repetitively. I would like do
That's
something,
good.
save, do something, save.
Yeah.
Because I knew the power probably would cut off, and I'd be like,
I would have to admit though, our power never goes out, but that could be because my dad works for the power company, but probably not. It's not. But my dad always.
"We got to
tells-
make sure Mr. Jones's power never goes out."
That's what he always says. Yeah, we had some. I mean, it was pretty bad. Like they were talking it up and everything.
I thought you already opened that once.
Nope. So I'm gonna be like drinking a bunch of stuff. But anyway,
It's
Jeff,
gonna taste weird. I'm just saying.
I know it does taste like sawdust.
When you first drink it, you're like, yeah. It's like when you first start drinking it, it's like,
It's bad. Like you're like,
and then it has like a weird lemon taste, and you're like, I don't know about this. You see what I'm saying?
Your
I've
stomach,
had
not
one
mine.
before. It's not. I don't think it's not as bad out of the bottle, but I'm just gonna throw this away later.
I have to hold my nose to drink that stuff.
Yeah, I know. So, Devin and Carlo, the first news story for this week is Tweetbot for iPhone has been released. And a lot of people are saying it's one of the best out there. I mean, check out this UI. This is a really nice UI. What is it, 5?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Why are you switching? I
don't-
switch.
Okay. I mean,
I'm
look
just
at this
kidding.
UI. It's got some interesting... like the notifications, it doesn't like pop up like most iOS does. If you're inside the app, it just like, if you have an app reply...
It just shoves it out or something?
Well, no, it doesn't shove it out. It actually, right there, it just lights up at the bottom. I like that. I mean, it looks cool.
Well, yeah, as the resident iPhone guy,
Yes.
So to speak. No, I haven't tried it myself because I like using Usfora. So I've already paid for Usfora, so I don't really want to pay for another app.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit overrated and everyone went a bit too crazy about it, but like it looks nice and everything, but I think that like the notification sounds would literally just get on my nerves and that'd be the first thing to go off. Everything else looks cool though. It does look really nice and slick, and it's like it's on its first revision, has a way to go, it can improve, but personally I'm sticking with Usfora.
I really like S4 too because it still has kind of like, if you look at this, it kind of has a dark theme, sort of like S4, but S4 is
I like the dark theme because of a white background with black text on the phone. It gets to my eyes. It gives me headaches or whatever.
Does
so
too.
I like the dark theme with the white text.
It's like really too. It's almost too overpowering. Like no matter what you have your brightness on, it can get kind of weird. In my opinion, if I had this on my iPad, I'm looking at like, if they made an iPad app or something. I think it is kind of. I think the colors may get a little too overpowering at some point. Not overpowering, but like.
I think that blue is a little bit.
Yeah, like they need to tone that down to a little darker or something, or.
The one thing, like the one that really annoys me about it is the fact that when you tweet out and stuff, it goes ding.
Yeah,
it's like.
I hope you can turn that up. The Seismic desktop application does that. You can turn it off, but it makes like a, how if you don't turn the notification sounds off on iOS when you send a message, it goes like, or whatever it does, like.
Yeah, but I always turn those things off. They just annoy me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? Beluga.
Yeah, Beluga.
When you send it, it's like.
Yeah.
Like if I send it emails, it makes whooshing sounds and stuff. It's like I think that's a bit. It's like. When I first got my iPhone and it started doing that, I felt like I bought a toy rather than a phone. It's like making whooshing noises like that. I think it's unnecessary.
Yeah. I just noticed this. This is completely off topic, but we talked about it last week. Beluga, you can actually substitute that. You know how you use that other...
you can bring in other things in Beluga. Yeah,
but you can also use Beluga as your default messaging client.
I know.
Instead of... That's pretty cool. I like that. Like, as your text messaging.
And it's kind of weird, like, I don't know if that would, like, work out too well just because of, like, other people that don't have it, then they're like, hey, you should join Beluga. And they'd be like, what?
Now, let me ask you.
No, I just want to say hey. I'm saying hey to you.
Did it just send you an email and be like, hey, Nick sent you a message on Beluga. You need to download the app or something?
Yes.
Okay, well, I still like the fact that you can send people and kind of, like, not exactly force them to join, but, like, even if they don't have an app, they still get the notification, I guess. That's pretty cool. So what's our next story here? iOS. All right, so this is kind of interesting, and I've actually thought about this for a while. And this is on Ars Technica. iOS and Android gobbling Nintendo shares of portable gaming market. Now, this makes a lot of sense to me because you've seen apps like Angry Birds that have made well over $1 million on game sales and stuff, and I can see a bunch of game manufacturers actually starting to make mobile applications. Can't you? For especially iOS, I can see that for Android in the future.
and when we were looking on that website the other day, you saw a bunch of those. Like they had like NCIS and stuff like that, where it was like a game that was specifically just one thing. Like I don't know, like mainstream looking. Like instead of say like a Super Nintendo emulator, okay? You have Super Mario Brothers for Android.
Yeah.
Okay? Stuff like that.
Now, Carlo, let me ask you a question. I know that you're a pretty big gamer on your iPad. Like, you like to play the games that, kind of sit back and relax games. Do you find that you would rather have, if you had a choice between, like, one of the new 3DSs or, like a Nintendo mobile platform, or would you rather just have an iPad that you could do other things with, plus game pretty easily on as well?
I'd definitely go for the iPhone and iPad. I've actually got a Nintendo DSi, and it's been gathering dust ever since the last Pokemon came out.
Yeah, that's what I would say too.
I'm pretty bored of it. When I first got the DS, it was literally on the release day when they had only like that couple of games, like the pet games or whatever, where you had that cat you looked after and stuff. It was funny for a while, a bit of a gimmick or whatever. I think Nintendo's lagging behind in a lot of areas. Like they haven't got a there's a rumor about like a HD Wii coming out, but they haven't got one at the moment. I think the DS is getting a bit bleh, and that's why a lot of people they like the convenience of doing stuff on their mobile phone, like playing games, Twitter, and making calls and all that stuff. So I think that's pretty much all taken over, and Nintendo's lagging behind in that department.
Yeah, I think you're completely right, because I would much rather...
Pretty much everyone's played Super Mario already anyway.
Yeah, true. I would pretty much rather, if I can have a game just on my Inspire 4G or on my iPad that I'm going to have with me already, instead of having to, like, throw in another DS game, and you still have to, still on, like, a DS or whatever...
The cartridge.
Yeah, you still have to use the cartridge or whatever they use now. And I remember on my PSP was pretty cool, but, I mean, the graphics were horrible. You think that it's made by Sony, it's like a, it was a pretty...
It was pretty much like a small PlayStation was all it was.
Yeah,
And they just, you throw a PlayStation... You also got to remember that, like, if you went back and played a PlayStation right now, the graphics look horrible.
True.
Even though you forget, in your mind, you remember them as awesome, super coolness. But in reality, they were crappity crap.
Yeah. And
that was basically most of the PlayStation Portable stuff is PS2 knockoffs.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, for example, I had like WWE SmackDown wrestling game on the PlayStation 2, and that got duplicated to the PSP. And 2006 was the one we were supposed to be able to play it on your PlayStation and then transfer it over and be able to take it out with you on your PSP. That was the only one that actually did that, as far as I know.
Right.
Yeah.
And the rest of them, most of the games, are the PlayStation 2 knockoffs, or there's a few unique games on there, but it's one of those things where you have it for a while, and then you get bored of it, and you put it aside, and it gathers dust.
Yep.
Yes, I do that a lot.
And one of the interesting things, especially with the new tablets, I feel a tablet, especially like a Wi-Fi tablet, is amazing for gaming, because you can play games no matter where you are.
Yeah, especially with everything multi-touch now.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's bringing a lot better interface into the device than what you had before. Because now you can actually use the screen as the controller and slide.
And for iPad, they actually have these two little joysticks that a lot of games use. They use like the bottom.
Yeah, and it actually slides and moves around. You don't have to you don't have to pick your fingers up.
And honestly, I think multi-touch gestures have come such a long way, and Apple is one of the companies to credit with that, because they were one of the first to do multi-touch. But they've perfected it. Yeah, true. They were. Multi-touch controls, like, I know that there's tons of different ways. That's one of the things I'd like to see, is maybe more of a, if possible, more of a standard on how they do that, and instead of just having, like, maybe everybody has to have the D-pad up on there that you multi-touch or whatever. But still, there's so many solutions. It's still not like holding an Xbox controller, but it's pretty darn close. It's a good experience. It's good enough where you're like, I have a DSi or a DS Lite or whatever, but I think I'd rather play on my iPad. Bigger screen, more horsepower. You've seen some of the graphics on like an iPad game or something. Those things look amazing. It's almost like what you get on like an Xbox or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the games on the iPad.
Yeah, and you
play that a lot.
You get so many more games that are developed, especially for the iPad, that are something that you could probably never have on a console. Like. For example,
one of them is Dungeon Hunter that I play religiously. That's pretty much an iPhone and iPad exclusive. They did release one on the PS3 recently. It was a PSN Marketplace game Loft recently done. But then, other than that, it's not. Well, at least originally, it was only on the iPad and iPhone. And I play that a lot on there. I love using the iPad in bed. That's for sure.
Yeah, I really like it as well. I usually watch podcasts. Like, I have no reason to have a TV in my bedroom anymore, because I can just sit there. I just set up a podcast, or a video podcast or an audio podcast, and that's what I do before I go to bed. It's just so great for that, because the iPad is a little heavy for doing something like that, but I usually I have a couple different ways that you can prop it up. I use a stand sometimes, but it's right there. It's not like you wouldn't want, maybe a netbook, but netbook's still kind of clunky to watch while you're laying there. iPad is great.
I do a lot of YouTubing on the iPad.
I do. It's really nice. I love their application, and plus, Carlo, I think especially a lot of people on YouTube have had problems getting, since they changed the layout. They they group. So like if we upload a video on your page,
Yeah, it groups it all with our name.
yeah, and so there'll be 3 of our YouTube videos, but you only want to see that latest one. Let's just say you've already seen the other 2, and then like your Shaytards video that you were gonna watch gets shoved to the bottom, even maybe off the front page. So that's one of the things I like about the YouTube. It does it on Android as well, but especially on the YouTube for iPhone and iPad, it's just a sheer list of everybody's. It's got like a 4 tile or 3 tile, whatever, and it just goes down. And that's how I literally watch all my YouTube videos. Like I feel weird watching YouTube videos on my computer anymore.
The only thing that annoys me about the iPad, or the iPhone YouTube app, is it doesn't show all of my subscriptions on there, on the list. It only shows, say, the latest 10 that I subscribe to. If the only way to find new videos is literally just go new videos and just keep scrolling down and go through it that way. I can't actually specifically select a subscription because it won't always be on that list. Yeah, that's something they need to fix.
I found that as well. If I need, like, a lot of times Steve's videos from the Tech Buzz, for some reason he doesn't show up even though he produces content almost every day, on YouTube. It still doesn't show up on my list, so I have to... What I do is I usually... I mean, it's just another thing you have to do, but I go in and I search for his name, and then, if you don't like the video full screen, you can go over and say related videos or like latest videos or whatever on the right side of the screen. And I just go that way. But it is kind of I wish they kind of fixed that. I wish you could just scroll through all your subscriptions.
The way around it is you can actually log into the mobile YouTube page on the iPad with like Safari or something. Well, it's just as well, as long as you uncheck the HQ, because that can mess things up. I don't know why. Like, the iPad's supposed to do 720p, but it chokes for some reason.
I still like it. It just feels more native doing it in the app, But I have used.
I'd rather use the app, but sometimes that does mess up. I've had problems. I'll have a video if it's in high quality. I'll have like it load up about a quarter of the way, and it will just stop.
Yeah.
And I'll have to exit the video and go back into it again to get it to play, or quite literally I have to go onto mobile YouTube because it won't play it.
So Jeb, our next story here is kind of a sad story because we talk a lot about the Flip Ultra HD.
Oh, sorry, I just thought of something.
Okay. And luckily, you're still going to be able to buy the Flips in store until they've just stopped manufacturing them as of now. Interesting thing, I mean, come on. Cisco bought the Flip brand about a year ago after they had so much success with YouTube and things because they've got the direct upload. Yeah, Jacobs is actually branded, his Ultra HD is actually branded with Cisco. They actually doesn't even have the Flip except for on the front, but used to on the back.
Flip video.
Yeah, on the back it used to say Flip as well. Well, Cisco's actually going to kill the Flip Ultra HD, or not Ultra, the Flip.
I don't know where I'm going.
The Flip line, and they actually were going to announce a streaming version of the Flip. I'm guessing it may have like some kind of contraption, but that's of course not going to be shipped now.
You'll have a monthly fee.
Yeah, but that still would be cool. I mean,
you know what I think would happen? I think Cisco is somehow partnered somehow in somebody's back pocket with one of these other people that are putting out the little portable video or things.
Yeah.
And I think that they bought Flip just to, let them run a little bit to see how it could go. Maybe they might change their mind. And then they were like, and we're going to close it. Okay, so that this person over here that we said, hey, we'll buy a Flip for you if you guys do whatever. And then you're going to start seeing Cisco branded something else pretty soon, and you'll go, oh, right.
Now, Carlo, let me ask you a question. Cisco being like they're big into networking. I mean, they're huge into networking. They've got those IP phones.
Hey, I did Cisco networking in high school. I almost had my CCNA, but then the teacher wanted me to take the test too quick, and
But I mean, Carlo, didn't it kind of seem like an awkward buy, like when they first bought the Flip brand? I mean, a wireless networking specialty company.
They were doing a lot of video stuff.
Oh, they were? Well,
yeah,
I know,
on phones and stuff like that. And, they were pushing a lot of their, hey, we're talking to each other. Like they would set up like little experiments. Like they would have a TV in a storefront and it'd have a webcam on it. And it'd be connected to another TV in another storefront, like all the way across the world. And it's live streaming constantly 24/7 between the two. And people would walk up and go...
But it still has that networking aspect. I mean,
yes.
Carlo, doesn't it kind of seem like one of those buys. They're just like, hey,
they
flips.
they went
flips
off
do
they
it.
went off the air there.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know Cisco owned Flip until a couple of days ago, so I don't know much about that. But it was really surprising that after I realised that they owned them, I actually dropped them because these cameras are really popular with YouTubers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, they're huge.
a lot of people that like to use these cameras for vlogging or whatever. And I know a lot of people now are using smartphones, iPhone 4s and various Android phones, and with really good cameras like 5 megapixel plus now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're actually selling as well anymore. Maybe that was why they decided to terminate them. Or I don't know. I'm actually really surprised they decided to terminate the brand.
Yeah.
Unless someone else is going to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, maybe like maybe if they drop the patent off, they'll maybe somebody else might pick it up or something. And
I can still see the Flip guys getting back together and maybe doing something. Well, of course they couldn't make it exactly like it because I'm sure like there's problems with that. But
I could see Cisco just completely giving it up
just back here
and just wait for the patent to expire and not renew it.
and
then once that happens, then you'll have all these people coming out with almost verbatim, just certain things about the Flip camera that was patented that they can't do on other ones.
And there's still, I think the Flip is losing its maybe like 3 years ago. Well, I think it's I guess, but there's really less every day that a new phone comes out. It's less and less of a reason to carry a Flip, But you still got. I mean, it's one of those things where you're going to be videoing, sometimes 15, 20 minutes a day. You're going to drain your phone battery. I think we're still at that point where you don't want to be using you don't want to be doing everything that you do on your Flip on your phone. Because
I was at the point when I decided to start doing these vlogs and stuff. I was at the point where I was like, I know my phone can't handle it, even though it can do it. I know it wouldn't be able to handle me vlogging,
Yeah, I mean you wouldn't.
Plus, it'd be multiple clips.
Yeah.
Then you still got to transfer them off at the end of the day.
And
It's not you're not going to directly upload off your phone, and it's just like, sometimes you just need a device that just does that. I mean, we're all about multifunctional devices, but sometimes you want a device that just does that.
Yeah. And I think the iPhone 4, I mean, it has a camera that I would consider good enough to like upload every day, but it's still an issue unless you have a Mac and unless you unless you sync every day. I mean, you're still going out of the you're still going out of your routine to do things. I mean, I know that you can edit it together in iMovie, but I mean, how many people want to be, you use, do you use Premiere every day? Is that what you say?
Yep.
To edit
Every day
together.
Premiere.
Yep. And you're
That's
not
a
gonna,
space issue as well, though, because
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
to be
Well,
honest, I wouldn't want to have so many gigabyte movie that I filmed on my iPhone when I've got tons of apps and music on there.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd much rather have something separate to put all that on.
Yeah, it would definitely have to be a transfer off all the time type deal.
Yeah.
And
They'll
delete
be
it when
constantly
you're done or something.
hooking it up to get stuff off.
Oh yeah, it'd get annoying after a while, and I hook my Flip up every single night, and I erase all the videos. It doesn't have any videos on it once the morning comes around, and I mean it works out good. And like I said on a Twitter thing the other day, it was like approaching 65 gigabytes worth of video files for.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm on like 98 vlogs now, or 96, 97.
And until they...
I actually thought that would be bigger. I was surprised it was only 65. I thought you were going to say something like 90 or something.
Yeah, and that was that's actually the raw video files off the camera. Them re-put into a project, which means Premiere actually copies them again to another folder, and then it exports the video, which is typically about 500 megabytes apiece.
Yeah.
So.
You use it actually uses an .mov or is it MP?
No,
M4?
it's MPEG-4, but it's
Okay.
I think it's H.264 is the header.
Yeah, so it is compressed. I mean, it's not like raw HD
But
video,
dude,
but
when you watch,
it looks good.
When you watch the videos directly off the camera, I wish that people could really experience that kind of quality on the internet.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a lot of the problem is that people don't get to experience that because the Flip is made to share video, okay? It's made to document and share stuff on the internet with people. Well, none of the video services really out there will let you do 60 frames a second off of streaming, you know?
Yeah, because they're always going to compress it. I mean,
Yeah,
sure,
you're
Google
always
has,
compressing.
Yeah.
And you can't just go and stream, our internet capacity is not, computing capacity for that matter, is not there yet to be able to just instantly stream like a, 10 gigabyte file straight off the internet instantly.
Well, I mean, you don't want to be sharing a 10 gigabyte file every night.
Yeah, you don't. But if the internet speed's there, if you got like Google Fiber at your house,
well, true,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but we don't have that.
I
Yeah.
wish. I wish I had that kind of stuff. Right now, my internet is sucky, and I hope by June I'm going to get cable.
Yeah, I saw a chart. What do you pay for the 30, right? Or do you pay for? I think you pay for their
they just call it max, and they actually upped their. They doubled their
60.
speeds.
They doubled it to 60 now.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, so the highest one used to be 30. Like I pay for 20 down and 1 up, and I get 30 down and about 1 point something.
Dude, when you just browse the web or you do like speedtest.net, okay?
Yeah.
It tells you your standard browsing speed, okay?
Right.
When you actually download stuff, like with a download accelerator where it opens up multiple streams and all that to download, dude, I can download stuff at like 5 megs a second,
It's crazy.
like megabytes a second. So
As far as I know, speed test only tells you your current data rate at that given
Right.
time, and not really your proper
yeah,
sort of download speed.
Yeah, and if you sign up on their website, you can actually do this thing called Speedwave, and it go on there and you can do multiple speed tests all the time, or not all the time, but whenever you go on
Yeah.
there, you can just speed test and it will log it, and then it will find an average, so it gives you a pretty good.
And there's also things for Linux and I'm sure Windows and I know Mac as well. The guy that does this actually does it for Mac as well. You can actually run a little thing up in your, which would be equivalent to the system tray in Windows, like up in your taskbar or whatever, not your taskbar.
Oh, that would be iStats.
Yeah, iStats. And there's a similar port for Ubuntu and some other Linux distros that allow you to, it actually shows more of what you're talking about, like it opens up multiple streams and shows you kind of what I would say your real.
Yeah, it shows you what your maximum internet speed could be.
And
so
for Ubuntu, I believe there's a tool called Conky which will tell you your network speeds.
yeah, and
I use iStats on the Mac. I'm not sure what you can use for Windows. But yeah, I know that the Conky is quite detailed from what I've seen of it, and iStats tells you what's going in and out
Right.
while you're doing it. Get one for the dashboard and one for the taskbar.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Although at the moment, iStats on the taskbar won't work unless you're using wireless. If you're Ethernet, you have to use the one on the dashboard, because otherwise it tells you you've got nothing, which is a bit of a bug at the moment. It's like nothing coming in, nothing coming out.
Yeah. All right, for our next story here, I'm going to actually, Carlos looking at the show notes. I'm going to skip the Apple story, and we'll talk about that when we get more into our NAB coverage. But the next story is President Obama is actually complaining that the White House technology is 30 years behind. You know,
It always
Jeff,
There's still dial-up in that place.
yeah. You know,
that's the
Jeff,
way the government is.
we talked
Yeah.
about, or a lot of people
Trust me.
talked about when he was, when he came into office, that he was actually, there was security issues because he wanted to keep a personal BlackBerry, and I can see why, because it'd be, I like having emails on the go and being able to browse the web and stuff.
Like, no, Mr. President, you must use this, and they pull out like a big, huge
Yeah.
phone.
He's, I was reading this here and I thought it was kind of interesting. President Obama may be content using slightly outdated, though admittedly secure, BlackBerry while on the go, but it seems that he's far more disappointed with the technology in the White House itself. Speaking at a fundraiser in Chicago this week, Obama said, "When it comes to technology, we're like 30 years behind." And it's just not talking about some of the ancient Windows desktops left over from the previous administration in the West Wing. He went on to complain about the lack of really cool phones and stuff, saying the President of the United States, where's the fancy buttons and stuff? The big screen comes up, It doesn't happen. Maybe we can go get some new tech industry friends to help us come out and manage and settle on a second term.
Yeah,
They're
aka
still running Windows 3.1, and they've got all Motorola Ericssons and all that kind of stuff. They're like living in the ancient times.
Yeah, I can tell you firsthand that the government in general is about 2 years behind on anything.
Always, no matter.
No. I mean, that's the newest they will ever go is 2 years behind. So like we're
still using IE6 and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
we're still running Windows Vista on.
I'm surprised they even went to Vista, honestly.
Yeah, they switched over before. They knew that it was bad, and they knew 7 was coming, but they said we have to switch over to Vista. So they were like, "Yeah, we're going to switch over to Vista."
You have 7 on your desktop at work, though, don't you?
No,
you don't.
Vista
I thought it was 7.
laptop. This laptop.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize your
Vista all the way.
That little notebook's got Vista on it.
No, it's got 7.
No, my netbook has Windows 7 on it, but the
His
desktop
actual-
at the military place is
I'm really
Vista.
surprised that they've updated the Vista.
Oh.
That really surprised me because my dad works for a large corporation. Probably, it's literally in the South. It's the largest power delivery company, Southern company.
It's like a Southern company.
Yeah, it's Southern company, and they have for a whole corporation wide. They have zero laptops, desktops, anything on Windows 7. They're sitting on XP right now.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't even think they don't even need to upgrade to 7 now. They might as well, because so many of their PCs, they're still running a lot of them Pentium 4s, half a gig of RAM, maybe a gig.
They also have, the military has a special version of Windows Vista and Windows XP, of course.
Yeah.
But Windows Vista, they call it the Gold Star program. And Microsoft actually develops that for them.
Really?
So they probably spend a little bit more time on that and put patches and stuff where they need to, so that it probably runs a little smoother than regular Windows Vista. But yeah, I mean, who wants that? I don't like it because
I'm Vista free, 100% Vista free.
Yeah, I hate the way you got to browse through files and crap. But yeah, trust me, there's a lot of stuff in the government that's everybody's like, oh yeah, they got like multi-touch walls and all that junk. Like that's a very, very, very small percentage of the government.
Yeah, they are right about some of those things. I mean, there is like a couple of different branches.
But very less than 1% of the government has that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about like military development or something.
Like Army military, you go out in the field, it's a 30-year-old piece of equipment.
Yeah.
It's still, some of the stuff, I think they just got away from thinking like using vacuum tubes in their radio. I'm like, I mean, really, guys? Because last job we had to repair some of that stuff, and it's old. Like, you can't find the parts anymore.
Smoothie saying.
I bet there isn't a single HD TV in there either, all using like 1970 CRTs.
Yeah. Smoothie saying that they need those cool hologram PCs that they have on
from CSI.
Those things are sick. I mean, all the things. Of course, that's just completely CGI.
All fake and
but
stuff.
yeah, I read this, and until President Bush came into office, there wasn't a PC in the Oval Office, which was what 2005, 2004. I mean, come on. Computers worthy of being on a desk have been around since what, at least 90...
85?
Yeah, I mean, 85. And
I mean, that was the first desktop.
Like, President George W. Bush was the first president to have a personal desktop on his computer, or on the Oval Office desk.
Hi, look at this funny thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of weird. Now, Jeff, look at this thing I found on Engadget. It's really not a tech story, but look at this thing. I mean,
that's just...
I mean, it looks all futuristic and stuff. I don't think I'd
want. Before you move on to that, I was on the last one. There's an update at the bottom saying that Microsoft are going to offer Obama a free Windows Phone 7.
Yeah, I saw that, and
that was quite funny. Are they that desperate?
I noticed where the Engadget had put on there that they recommended the new HTC Arrive. I think it's called. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. That's
all
all I'm saying on there.
That's great. So this is the T3 Motion 3-wheeled R3. We heard, I think Engadget has covered this before, but look at this. This has got a Galaxy Tab.
It's real, man.
Yeah, but it's got...
Or someone made it.
This thing is electric.
Well, of course they made it.
This is electric. I mean...
Your face is electric.
True.
I don't know.
Not. Let's see if we can watch this video here.
Here he goes.
Here's the R3. Ooh. Let's keep it right there.
Wow, you got it muted so I
I
can't.
know.
Oh, okay.
I'm muted on.
I was like, I can't hear it.
There's actually no video. I don't know audio. Look at that. Mounted onboard Galaxy Tab. That's pretty sweet.
Nice. Be kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks all futuristic and stuff. I don't think you're gonna be seeing these at like a.
That's just a working concept car is all it is.
Yeah.
Just like everything else in the world, working concept.
Still
And that will be nothing in existence.
So it goes 70 miles an hour. It's gonna be $25,000.
So what's with like the wheels in the back?
I really don't know. They look like motorcycle wheels almost.
You know what I want to see? I want to see someone making a high-speed mechanium wheel car. I know they can't really drive very fast, but I thought that'd be kind of sweet. Like if they made like an off-road one, where like you can spin the, you know, the way that works is when you turn these two wheels to opposite of these two wheels, it'll like move left and right and rotate and do whatever.
That'd be cool.
And that'd be awesome to do like parallel park. You
just go. Even though
oh, sweet.
I can't tell you the last time that I've even been in a situation that I don't want to parallel park, but
No one cares about that car. Everyone just wants the Galaxy Tab.
yeah. Exactly.
Oh, sweet. Look, I mean, who cares about the car? But I mean, look, it's got a Galaxy Tab.
$25,000. So I'm gonna.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they basically just,
Galaxy Tab, 3G. Yeah, who cares about
they
the
just put a piece of
car?
Velcro up on the dash and stuck it on there. I mean, look at this thing.
I thought.
Well, that thing could drive itself for all I care. I just want that tablet.
Yeah. So our next story here is a leaked version of Windows 8. We've seen this for a couple times, but this is actually the first time that we saw like a new feature. I mean, people had been demoing like the desktop interface and stuff, and it looks awfully like Windows 7. But
And and just to go ahead and say this, that wallpaper is in Windows 7 already.
Yeah, but the guy, that's pretty creepy. That's just weird.
Now, that is one ugly specimen.
I know. It's just weird. It's like some like modernist like art painting or something. But the interesting
With
thing,
clay.
yeah, that's what it looks like, kind of. Here's a video, and we probably won't watch it all considering it's 3 minutes long. But look at the login interface here. It's actually it actually looks a lot to me. They're calling it the Metro UI, which is the same thing that they run on Windows Phone 7. So here's the startup screen. Yeah, looks essentially the same.
What?
So here's the login screen. I think he demos. I've already watched this. I think he demos that you can like change the. Yeah, that's like the magnifying. You know how you can do different things to the login screen. He also demos that you can change the language right there. So see, there's like a newer interface. You can see like right here they've got the little Metro like back button. That's what's in Windows 7 phone whatever.
So they're
There's
making.
a way to there's access on the taskbar where your clock is that you demonstrate, and there you can change settings and users and language and stuff from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's logging in right now.
See, to me, this almost looks like they're trying to make Windows 8 more touch friendly.
And that's exactly what it looks like.
I think he's got to zoom in so you can't see it.
So
great.
this is what Carlo was talking about here.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, like having all that stuff right there.
That's alright.
I was wondering if this guy is actually authorised to show this little thing in the corner saying that
Yeah.
if you use this unauthorised, you can get basically you're going to get screwed over.
I was looking on the
Yeah, that's why he censored it, so then nobody can know who did it.
so there it is changing the
The
language
keyboard.
right there. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I saw in the YouTube video, like, you know how you can thumb up comments or whatever, like comments, and they go to the top. Some guy's like, well, this guy's pretty much lost his job if he works for Windows or Microsoft. I'm like, yeah. Well, you know.
That's why he had the censor bar over the release distro, because they didn't want to know which version he had. Trace it back to him.
Yeah. I just thought that was kind of interesting. You know, we'll probably be tracking some of the newer, you know, things that come out about Windows 8. I don't think that's the extent of the features, or at least I hope not, because that would kind of be like a...
Yeah, it'd be like, so you added a user management thing that's just basically just down there in the corner, and change your language on the fly.
I'm still kind of feeling it's going to be similar to Windows 7. It's not going to be a major leap from like Vista to 7. I think they're
going to add a lot more web interactivities.
Really, like,
because I think that's where everything,
Yeah.
you know, everything's going that direction. I think you're going to have a lot more, like, I see Microsoft having like a built-in like social thing.
Yeah, they've got Metro Twit that they actually released. That's made by Microsoft. Have you heard of that, Carlo?
I haven't heard of Metro Twit, no.
I think that's something that they've.
If that's a Windows Phone 7 thing, I wouldn't know about it.
It's on Windows 7, and it kind of reminds me of TweetDeck, but like with the Metro UI. I don't know if they did it or not, but anyway, it's a Windows 7 Twitter application. But I can see that as well. You know, Ubuntu already has some of the social integration with Glibber and things. I can see that happening in Windows 8.
Yeah, I mean, I see them like you know the cloud storage stuff.
Yeah, that being like just
they're gonna just have it in there. It's gonna be a
folder.
drive on your computer, and you sign up.
Yeah.
Like I see you registering when you go to initially start up Windows. You set up a login or log in with your Microsoft Live ID,
account,
and it's like linked up to your just like Android sort of is.
That would be pretty cool.
Well,
it's all,
basically,
like, brings it all.
Microsoft took a look at what Apple's doing and what
Yeah.
Ubuntu's doing and going, well, we should do some of that and
Really? Yeah.
tweak it a little bit, make it put some of our mobile stuff in there because Apple's doing it, and all that kind of stuff.
I would like built-in support for if you have a Windows Phone 7 device, which I don't know, but not many people have. But
send it to the cloud.
That would be pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So our last story, I want to throw in a gaming. We already have one gaming, but I want to throw in another one here. This is an interesting milestone for Sony. 50 million PS3 sold, 8 million Move. So the Move is like their version of Kinect, sort of, but it's still like the still uses the magic wand like you do with the Wii. It works pretty well.
It looks stupid though.
It does look stupid.
It's like a big microphone looking thing that glows that you like. It's just weird.
So there's 75 million PlayStation Network registered accounts, which is like live, and I can see that because one of the things I like about the PS3 is it balances multiple accounts, I think, better than Microsoft. So you can still, I guess this is really because the PSN is actually free instead of Xbox Live being like $30 or like $15 a month, or well, if you get the full
Depends
year,
on how
it's
you do it,
60. Yeah. But anyway, so if you wanted to have an account on my Xbox because we were going to play after every show or something, you would have to have your own separate Xbox Live subscription. Well, since the PSN is free, it automatically works. So I can have 5 accounts that all have online sync. That's pretty cool. I like it. So that's one of the things I do like about my PS3 is, I have an account for... I used to have it. Anyway, you can have multiple accounts that you can still play online.
Yeah, Smithy said he almost forgot about the Move.
Really, I have too, because there's not really that many...
Like, it was just such against... Like, it was like they had a new intern come in and was like, oh, great. All right, Billy, we're going to let you design the next PlayStation thing and see if you can do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's put a glowy ball on the top of a controller.
Yeah.
Like, that goes against everything that they designed. Like, I mean, look at their controller. I'm really glad that they decided to stay with the DualShock looking controller and not go with that stupid one where they take away everything and make it all like just a dumb controller. But like, like it just, I don't know, whatever. Okay, yeah.
No, pretty much it's when everyone's getting through a phase of copying the Wii. They're like, well, the Nintendo stuff's all popular right now, so we're going to make our own, and it's what Microsoft did as well. Yep. And it just happened that Sony ended up coming up with the 2 Wonder-Majigs.
Wonder-Majigs, yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to add some NAB coverage at the end of this, because NAB was, first off, NAB is oh my gosh, there's some magic show notes. NAB stands for the National Association of Broadcasters, and they've met for, I think, 25...
I thought that was like baseball or basketball or...
No, that's NBA.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a good amount of news that came out of it, and really the reason I wanted to talk about NAB is essentially we're broadcasters. We do internet broadcasts. We do almost by the time we get done with our new ventures, we're going to be doing like 5 or 6 shows a week. So
you bet your sweet bippy.
So I mean we're pretty entrenched in internet broadcasting, and there's so many new technologies that are coming out for internet broadcasting. And one of the things I wanted to talk about is Steve from the Tech Buzz. He was over there. Telestream invited him, the makers of Wirecast that we're using right now to stream. They invited him to come out to Vegas, do some user tutorials, host their live events there. And there was a lot of companies that Steve was talking about that were actually there. So whether it was encoding video, new microphones for broadcasting. We're going to talk about some from the mic that we're actually using right now that are more tailored to like broadcasting situations. But there's a lot of companies capitalizing on internet broadcasting, and it was interesting. Twit was actually this year they were the official broadcasting corporation of NAB, so they were like doing all the coverage and stuff.
And they had a pretty sweet setup going on, and
that was
as Nick sucked up snot.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, they basically all they did was just like put up a bunch of lights. Like they made it look cooler in the dark. Oh gosh, it's going to be loud and obnoxious.
So actually, yeah, I'm going to go in here, but if you want to, you can ask Carlo.
I've just been knighted.
Yeah, he's
No, you're not totally knighted.
Well, yeah, you're still here, so.
Yeah, I'm here via the power of the interwebs.
Yeah, I figured out on the lower thirds that he didn't even shut the door. I can still hear it loud as day in here.
Yeah, I'm officially Sir Jacob and Sir Carlo.
Yeah, it's Tech Weekly with Jacob and Carlo. How you doing?
Yep.
But yeah, they basically just stuck some LCD screens on some stairs and threw some lights up. That's pretty much all.
Just make it like all fancy and stuff.
I knew that was going to happen before the end of the show. I made it this
What they usually do.
So anyway, we saw we saw some really interesting things in NAV, considering, Telestream's been out for a while, but they were given some new, and they were like showing some people how to do things with Wirecast and things, but I'm sure that looks great on the video. But anyway, one of the interesting things is technically this wasn't an NAB, but they Apple knew that there was going to be a Final Cut meetup. I guess you could say I think there was like
a
meetup. Like everybody was meeting up, and there was a good amount of Final Cut people there. And Apple actually held an event at NAB. This is the first time in like 3 years that they have been at NAB. But they announced Final Cut Pro 10, and it's actually going to support 64-bit, which means that you've got support for some.
As far as I know, it's multiple core support and 64 bits and bit of memory management, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a video editor myself, so I'm not totally sure, but that's what I've heard anyway.
Yeah, so if you look at
the multi-core thing's a big thing.
Yeah. If you look at the screenshot here, Jack, you want to pull that up?
Yeah, Nick, I will pull that up, thank you.
They've adopted some of the features that a lot of people like that were inside of iMovie, like the timeline and things. They've added some new things such as, they call it a magnetic timeline, so like video clips actually snap together, so it kind of is intelligent enough where it knows that you're wanting to put this video clip.
It dumbs down the input so that you can actually
use it.
Yeah.
Even I could use that thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the interesting thing is the price point. How much?
$500.
$299.
$299.
The Final Cut Pro right now costs $1,200. You can really hear that on the microphone now.
Yeah, you can. Excuse me. Oh man, that turkey sausage.
Oh gosh. But anyway.
Too many noodles, mate.
$1,200 was the original price point for their top of the line everything. $300 now downloadable from the
interwebs,
the App Store. It's going to be inside of their App Store for.
Of course.
I think it was is it June that they're gonna.
So is this like a light version, basically?
No, this is everything. This
it should be about the same time they release Lion, because that's 64-bit. Lion's going to be 64-bit, so they're going to release them together so they can make a ton of money.
I can see it now. They're like, and when you use Lion, in order to use the apps from the App Store, you got to pay this nominal fee per month, which would equate to about $1,200 in a year.
And like Carlos said, 64 bits means that it supports QuickTime X better, or 10. It also supports multiple cores much better from Intel.
And also the filters that they use that are the 32-bit filters.
Yeah.
Now they're going to have some 64-bit filters that can do a little bit more.
And one of the interesting things, 4K support. First time they've had 4K support, so you can actually edit very, very, very high quality. Is 4K, what is that? Is that twice as good as 1080p?
4K is 4 times 1080.
Really?
Yes.
That's supposed to be the next step up from 3D or something.
Well, it's essentially the highest quality that you can get right now.
4K is 4,000 vertical pixels, is what that means.
Dang.
A lot of pixels then.
Yes.
Yes.
A ton of pixels.
So practically, they call it that it's 4 times HD, just roughly, but
Yeah, $2.99 in the App Store. Final
$2.99.
$2.99. And
I'm
you can,
scrolling. I don't know.
anyway, interesting price point. If you're in here and you're in this, if you're a video editor on Mac, I think you're definitely going to invest into this. But anyway,
if you're not, then
yeah, you're not. Like I said,
If not, you get iMovie for free, don't you?
yeah, true. I can see. I don't know. Anyway, so Telestream had a big show. They had all their products there. They had Flip for Mac there. They had all their all their different products that they make, because Telestream makes like 12 or something or more, at least 10. They have the products that we use, Wirecast. They also have a nice video encoder that's really nice.
yeah.
But anyway, they had a big show, but also one of our favorite microphone manufacturers actually announced 2 new microphones that I'm really, really excited about. We're actually using one of their mics, the MXL 990, but they have 2 new microphones, and I might actually invest in Jago and I one of these. This is the MXL BCC1.
BCC.
They've actually,
that's not the BBC. Never mind.
No, they've actually been always known for studio microphones, but this is technically a studio microphone. It's a condenser. It's good for singing. It's all right. I mean, it works well for broadcasting, but it's not a broadcasting microphone per se.
You better start saving them pennies.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
This one is, I think it's $329. I think this is the condenser version, but I'm thinking about the dynamic version, which is this black one at the bottom, which is the BCD one, which of course the D standing for dynamic, the C on the other one standing for condenser.
That's amazing.
So we'll have you'll have a dynamic, which like the RE20 is a dynamic microphone, the Heil PR40 is a dynamic microphone, the Rode Procaster, 3 of the most well-known broadcasting microphones are dynamic, and the Shure SM7B, all being dynamic microphones. But the cool thing is it accepts everything. So you're gonna have to be up close and personal with the mic, but it's a rounded microphone like this, so that's gonna work out well for our video. So when we're doing video, because it's just right here, so it's not gonna be like this thing where you're like, oh my gosh, So yeah.
And then you're like, oh my gosh,
But anyway, I think it's gonna be pretty cool, and I think this one's gonna be $299. I'm gonna talk to him. MXL does a lot of partnerships, and hey,
yeah,
maybe we could get a little.
Maybe
partnership
this episode of Tech Weekly might be brought to you by MXL.
Yeah, who knows?
Get your mic today. Use coupon code pbcasttv.com.
But
Just
anyway,
for details.
Yeah.
Get your piece of the internet today at MXL. Oh wait. Yeah. So yeah, that's
Pretty much it.
pretty much it. I had a bookmark, but we already did it, sort of.
Yeah. We don't really know if we did or not. You want to talk about it anyway?
But I mean, we could talk about it.
Yeah.
They've improved a little, I guess, since the last time we talked about it.
I can't remember if we talked. I know we talked about it, but I can't remember if we bookmarked it or what.
Basically, if you guys remember, it's Aardvark or Vark.com.
Yeah.
And, if you guys remember us talking about it before, you basically ask a question and it goes out and finds all these people that might be, that it figures out what the question's about. And it goes in there and says, hey, this question's about, Apple products. And then Carlo gets a, thing and says, hey, Carlo, what is the best, Apple laptop out there? And then he says what he thinks is the best one, and it submits the answer, and it comes back to you saying, hey, this is what Carlo Brown thinks. And then, 2 other people might answer also. Right. But, dude, it's like instant. Like, if the question goes out, like, somebody somewhere in the world is sitting there. I mean, you got the whole world, basically. I mean, not the whole world, of course, because everybody's not on this.
Right.
But, like, someone will instantly respond, like you're in a big chat room,
Yeah.
And it's really cool because I asked it just like some random questions that I knew the answers to. I just wanted to see if everybody else would too. And I was like asking how long you could run this certain kind of mod, like protocol, communications protocol. And it's like 1,200 feet or whatever. And everybody came back, and some people were like, I think it's like 1,200 feet. And then this one guy, like, you could tell he copy and pasted it from like the Wikipedia page or something. Yeah. I think it even had some like links in there and stuff, and it's like Wikipedia at the bottom.
But they've actually been acquired by Google. I would love to see this in like an Android app or something. They've got an iPhone app right now. Yeah, and it's in Gmail.
Yeah.
Google buys everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool because now they have a like a Google Talk actual person that gets assigned to you.
Yeah.
Or it's not like a person, but it's like a computer that knows it's you. And it's like aardvark mine's like 206 or something. And you basically go on your Google Talk and just say, what's blah, 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 and just ask them a question, and then it comes back and tells you the answer, basically.
Yeah.
Via some actual person. So it's pretty cool.
Sweet. Yeah. That's vark.com. You can also, if you have an iPhone app, I think it's free. You can actually pull it up. But anyway, you can check that out as well.
And everybody knows aardvark is like, the first animal and everything because it's got 2 A's at the beginning.
Yep. That's awesome. So, Carlo, thanks for joining us. You want to bring up Carlo's lower third?
Let me bring up Carlo's lower third real quick, Nick Jones.
You can find Carlo at twitter.com/Carlo Brown or at Carlo Brown if you like that. Carlo, thanks for being on. I contacted Carlo last night, really short notice because I knew I was sick and we needed somebody on.
No, I just happened to be awake.
Yeah. Like I said, Carlo's probably going to be joining us at least once or twice a month. We're going to set that up. I want to get him a schedule so we're not just like right before the show be like, hey Carlo, can you join us?
Hey Carlo, what you doing, buddy?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad.
I'm not usually doing much at all, to be honest.
That's good. We've got he's on the new Skype computer. It seems to work pretty well.
Yeah.
We've got that set up. And then also you can follow Jacob on Twitter, twitter.com/.
Hold on, wait for it.
Freaking Huge or at Freaking Huge, FREAKINHUGE.
Yeah, pretty much Freaking Huge on anything you go on, and you'll pretty much find me.
That's the kind of sound.
That's my standard name.
Yeah, and
or as Carlo likes to call it, that's my JTV name.
That's Smoothie.
Oh, that was Smoothie.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting on my
And then you can find Jacob's Vlogs, youtube.com/freakinghuge. And obviously I am at YouTube.
Not Carlo Brown, there it is. Nick Jones.
And then you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/thatnickjones. If you want to follow, really the main thing that you would want to see, I guess you can see who I subscribe to. I don't upload very many videos to my YouTube channel.
But you can stalk you.
Yeah.
The power of the interwebs.
You can stalk me. And
He's
then
at
also
the BP station. What is he doing there?
What's Nick doing today? Where is he?
I spent $4. Okay, just as a side note, guys. All right. I know Carlo. You guys do gas by the liters over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do it by the gallons, which, I think a liter is a little bit less than a gallon, right?
Sure.
Something like that. I don't know. It's so hard to go between.
Close.
But so gas here now. I filled up on the way over here. Yeah, premium gas because that's what my car has to use. It's like the 93 ethanol or whatever. Not ethanol. 93 octane or whatever.
I use middle grade. Yeah.
Yeah. So $4 a gallon.
Really?
Yes.
Over here we call that petrol or diesel.
Diesel.
Yeah.
Petrol. Yeah.
There's a difference between the two. I'm not quite sure what.
We would be doing petrol.
Um,
Diesel's more of like an oil than a gasoline.
Yeah, we have petrol and diesel.
Yeah.
That's what we've got over here.
Yep.
Pretty cool. All right,
so yeah.
Thanks for joining.
And it all costs extortionate prices.
Well, Carlo, thanks for joining us here on Tech Weekly, episode 44. Once again, you can find pbcasttv on Twitter, twitter.com/pbcasttv, pbcasttv.com, youtube.com/pbcasttv. And we got all of our RSS.
Up.
We've got all the RSS feeds for all the shows up now, so you can actually subscribe via those. Also, add them to whatever podcast catcher you like. I would recommend Miro, which is spelled M-I-R-O, for Linux, Mac, and Windows. That's one of the good things is it's cross-platform.
Sweet.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in on Monday. We've got all new Gadget Gurus. We're going to be reviewing the new mixer. That's at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. live.pbcasttv.com. And then also we're going to have Chad Hallberg on from twitter.com/Chad Hallberg on Monday at 7 p.m. on whatchamacallit.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know what happened. Anyway, that was weird. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us, and as always, until next time, I'm Nick Jones.
And I'm not switching. Hold on. Nick Jones, Jacob Roberts,
And there's a picture of Carlo.
Carlo Brown connecting.
And until next time,
We already said that. Tech Weekly.
Episode 44.
Peace.